Hey everyone, welcome back to Living on Vancouver Island. I'm Josh, your local real estate guide. And today we're diving into the topic of exploring the Gulf Islands that surround Vancouver Island. So if you ever dreamed of island hopping from Vancouver Island, this is the guide for you. We're going to talk about Salt Spring, Gabriola, Denman, and Hornby Islands. We'll cover how to get there, what to do, and some insider tips to really make your trip awesome. First up is Salt Spring Island. So this is the largest and the most populous of the southern Gulf Islands. It really has a vibrant art scene, and there's lots of farmers markets and organic farms. There's a lot to do as far as hiking. There's even lakes on the island. That's kind of rare actually. Most of the Gulf Islands, many of them, do not have lakes. There's lots of beaches around to explore, but Salt Spring has lakes also to explore. There's a lot to do outside. The downtown area is super pretty. There's wineries, there's cideries. More people live there, so in general, there's a bit more to do. So, what's also unique about Salt Spring is that there's multiple ferry routes to get there. So you can get there from Crofton. Crofton is just a little town outside of Duncan. And from Crofton, there's a ferry sailing to Vesuvius Bay on Salt Spring. The sailing takes about 25 minutes and it goes roughly every hour. Now there are scheduling limitations and it doesn't run all through the night. It stops at around midnight. Just Google Salt Spring Island Ferry Crofton and you'll find the schedule. Now the other sailing route is from Swartz Bay, which is near Victoria, and that'll take you to Fulford Harbor. It's the other side of Salt Spring. This is a little bit of a longer sailing, about 35 minutes, but it just depends where you're going. If you want to end up in Victoria, that's the ferry sailing to take. So again, some highlights. Definitely go check out the Saturday market in Ganges. Then also Ruckle Provincial Park. There's lots of trails to explore. And then I like the Salt Spring Island Cheese Company, some artisanal cheeses that are made right on the island. Salt Spring is also known for its lambs. That's a thing, go check it out. Now just a couple tips. Ferries can be busy, especially on the weekends, but the busiest time of year for ferries is when the young ones are out of school because many families go on holidays. The Gulf Islands, many of them are tourist destinations because they are so beautiful. So if you're traveling, specifically in July and August, plan ahead. My go-to, if I need to be somewhere and I cannot miss it, I'm going to be on the ferry sailing before the one that I would actually need to be on to get to my appointment. So I have that buffer room. So 2 ferry sailings before where I need to be, especially in the summer months. Another tip is if you can, explore the island by bike. It's super beautiful. You'll go a little bit slower. You'll be able to soak in the sights. Stay safe, of course. Wear a helmet. Stay on the side of the road. But exploring the Gulf Islands, Salt Spring by bike, it's a lot of fun. Next, let's jump over to Gabriola Island, the Isle of the Arts. So Gabriola, it only has one ferry sailing route, and it's right from downtown Nanaimo. But what's a little bit different is that there are 2 ferries that actually service this during peak hours. So 2 ferries, you can picture one in Nanaimo, one on Gabriola, and then them passing in the middle and arriving. So because they service the island this way, they come and go twice as often. So that has really elevated life on Gabriola. It's been like that for a few years now. But with that, even if you miss a ferry, it's only roughly half an hour to the next one. So it really has taken the need out to look at the ferry schedule as much. Basically, if you're going across, just go get in line and you'll be on the next sailing. Or worst case scenario, that sailing's full and you'll be on the next one, but it won't be as long as a wait. Before, if you missed a sailing, it could be aggravating. You could get mad at yourself because it could take an hour or 2 hours if you just missed one. So it's a lot better now. It's a lot easier. Accessibility has really been elevated. So the ferry, again, it's from downtown Nanaimo to Descanso Bay on Gabriola. It's roughly a 20 to 25 minute sailing. Some highlights, some things that you need to see on Gabriola. I would say number 1 is Malaspina Galleries. It's this really unique sandstorm formation that you can walk through. It kind of looks like a rock wave that has its fingers out, just like my hand is, but it's 8-9 feet high. So you can walk through it. It's really, really unique. Another awesome place to check out is Drumbeg Provincial Park. It's on the opposite side of the island from where the ferry comes in, but there's some walking trails, there's nice beaches, there's nice places to lay when it's hot and sunny in the summer. Definitely check it out. Another tip, go check out the Gabriola Museum. It's right in the village core, right by the police station, and it just goes into some history about the island. And there's some wall placards with photos of some of the old timers and their stories and how the island came to be. It's worth checking out. So again, the ferries, they run more frequently here, but still it's wise to arrive early, especially in those summer months. As well, there are local art studios. In the fall, there's a local art studio tour where everyone who has an art studio, they get put on a map and they open their doors for a weekend and you can go and explore them. So you can see, oh, this one's a glass blower. This one's a potter, this one's a jewelry maker, this one's a painter. And you can go around and stop in. Many of them will sell their works, but it's fun just to meet the people of the island and see all the art that is being created on Gabriola. Okay, next up, we're gonna talk about the Gulf Island of Denman. Denman is a peaceful, quieter island to a degree, I would say. There's lovely, lush forests, there's really pretty beaches, and it's a nice, small community. So to get there, there's a ferry from Buckley Bay, which is just south of Courtenay, and that takes you to Denman West. It's a relatively short sailing. It's about 10 minutes. Definitely, again, look at the schedule to make sure you know which one you'll be on, because there's less sailings to Denman. When you're on Denman, check out Boyle Point Provincial Park. There's beautiful cliffs and forest trails. Then also check out Philongley Provincial Park. There's beachfront camping there and some lovely picnicking spots. There's a lot of local artisans and farmers markets to really check out. Check out the community. It's a beautiful area to visit. This island, I would say it's probably best to explore by car. The roads, in my opinion, are just a little bit tighter feeling. You definitely could bike, but I would prefer to explore Denman by car, personally. Check out the community events calendar also, because there will be local festivals and gatherings happening in the summer. Now, from Denman, what keeps Denman a little bit quieter is many people that are coming to visit are actually going to Hornby Island, and that's the next island we'll talk about. So to get to Hornby Island, you actually have to take that ferry that I just mentioned that takes you over to Denman, and then from Denman, you take a ferry over to Hornby. Now, Denman is actually called the Hawaii of the North, and that's because it has a beautiful white sandy beach, super unique. The water there is also really blue and turquoise. It does feel Caribbean. That beach is Tribune Bay Provincial Park. Absolutely gorgeous. If you Google top things to see on Vancouver Island, I'm pretty sure that Tribune Bay will be in the top 5. There's also Hellawell Provincial Park that has beautiful walking trails with ocean views right along some cliffs near the water. It's pretty. Be safe, but it's awesome. There's also a large art scene on the island with farmers markets. The downtown corridor is really small, but it's well supported. During the summer months, ferries here can be very crowded. I would say plan to travel early in the day if you can. Also, that tip about going for the ferry before, I'd do that on this one too. Accommodations can also fill up really early on the island in peak season, so book those well in advance. Don't show up on Hornby thinking I'll just find a hotel room or a camping site. This is a huge tourist destination. You need to plan this one out. So just some general tips about traveling to the Gulf Islands. Definitely plan ahead. Check those ferry schedules. Another thing that catches people is Wednesdays on Gabriola and Salt Spring. I'm not familiar with the Denman Hornby one, but Wednesdays there's a sailing going to Gabriola, going to Salt Spring in the morning that is completely shut off for vehicles. It's a dangerous cargo sailing. So look at the schedule and see. Sometimes it's just called DC. And that means no other vehicles can go on that boat. It's just taking over propane and gas trucks, and sometimes that can mess people's schedules up. So make sure that doesn't interfere with your plans. Travel light if you can. If it works, walking onto a ferry, very rarely do they say, no, we're at capacity, no more walk-ons. But if there's a long lineup for vehicles, typically you can still walk onto that ferry or get your bike on if you're pedaling around. Ferry schedules can change due to weather. It doesn't happen all that often. The large ferry, the big ferry from Vancouver to Vancouver Island, I see that one shut down more often due to weather, wind, waves, and that's because it's going through the ocean where it's less protected. But these little sailings, they're going in between Gulf Islands and say Nanaimo. The weather there is more protected to a degree, so it doesn't get shut down as often. I've seen it a couple times though, and it's usually just shut down for a few hours till the wind calms down, but it can happen. Also, when you're coming here to visit and explore, I encourage you to support local businesses. Shop local, dine local if at all you can. Lastly, my last tip, thanks for sticking around. So let's say you're in Nanaimo at the ferry terminal, you say, can I get the BC Ferry Experience card? You then have to load it with an amount of funds. I think it's $130, $135, it does change. And that acts like money on that card. If you lose that card, you also lose that money. But when you then use that card to pay for your ferry sailings, it reduces the cost quite substantially. So that's it. I hope you enjoy exploring the Gulf Islands. If you're coming this way to do some house shopping, I encourage you to reach out. All of our contact information is on our website.